Hi, my name is Belinda and I'm the training lady. And today I'd like to take you through some of the basic Excel functions that I believe everyone should understand how to use so that you can utilize these within your worksheets when you need them. Now we're going to have a look at 5 of them, and the very first one we're going to look at is what we call the sum function. We are also then going to follow through and look at the average, the count, the minimum and maximum functions as well. Now, I just have a little simple spreadsheet set up here. I've just got some numbers in it for a couple of my sales consultants, and I just want to get my totals and a few other bits and pieces to show up here. Now, the first thing I want to do is find where the first button is that I'm going to use, and we're actually going to use the same button for all 5 of these functions, and it's called the Auto Sum button. Now, I'm on the Home tab of Microsoft Excel at the moment, and you can see over on the right-hand side here, I do have an Auto Sum button. Now this button has the actual button itself with a little graphic on it, but you also have a little drop down menu on the right hand side that if you drop that down, it will show you the other 4 functions that we're about to use. Now another location you've got is you can go to the formulas tab up on the ribbon, and the second button across is the auto sum button as well, and again has the little drop down with the rest of the options. Now, if I click into the first location, I've already clicked into F4 here, and this is where I want it to go and add all of the values for Mary. So I want to get that total. Now, I can use a shortcut here. If you've seen any of my other content, you will know that I'm a big fan of keyboard shortcuts, and this is one of them I do use quite a lot, and it's the Alt key and then the equal sign on your keyboard, and that will automatically put in a sum function for you so that you don't have to worry about clicking buttons and finding it on the ribbon and that sort of thing. But I'm going to go back to my home tab here. I am already clicked into cell F4. And if I click on the auto sum button now, it's going to automatically put in the sum function for me. You can see it's written in there now, equals sum and then the brackets. And Excel will go and try and find the nearest set of numbers that it can use. And in this case, it has found the data for Mary in cells B4 all the way across to E4. Now, I'm happy with that. That's exactly what I want it to add together. So I'm just going to press my enter key on the keyboard, and that will get me my answer of 224. Now, I could technically repeat that process for the second and the third person in my list, but I want to make this as efficient as possible, especially if you don't have a nice even 3 options. You might have 1,000, you might have 10,000 records. So I wanted to do the exact same thing for the next couple of rows for me as well. Now we're going to use a tool here called autofill. Now autofill allows you to copy content, it allows you to copy formulas, and one of the nice things that Excel does is it recognizes that you're copying it down onto different rows or different columns, and it will actually adjust the formulas for you. So it will recognize the direction that you move in. So all I need to do here is put my cursor onto that bottom right corner. There is a little square marker there. And if you put your cursor on it, you should get a plain black cross. Now, if you're getting the cursor with the arrows on it, that's not the one we want. Okay, that's the moving cursor. So make sure it's the plain cross, and then just click and hold down the left mouse button and drag that down over the next 2 rows and let go. And you should see now you're getting the answers for those 2 additional rows as well. Now, Excel has automatically adjusted the formulas. We can use the formula bar at the top here to be able to see what the formulas look like. Right, I can click onto each cell to see what the references are pointing to. But now I have my totals are being added in there. So that's our first function, the sum function. Now the next one I want to do is the average. I want to get an average of that because you can see Mary here has a little bit higher value overall than Jim and Karen, right? But I want to just work out what the average is. Now I'm going to use the auto sum button again, but I'm not going to click directly on the picture or the icon. I'm going to go to the drop down menu because this is where I need to choose a different function. So I'm going to use the drop down, and then you'll see you have average in that list. So go ahead and select that. Now again, Excel will go and try and find the cells that you want to average. And in this case, it has chosen correctly because it doesn't have any numbers to the left of it. There's no numbers here. But above it, it can find some numbers. And that's exactly what I want it to use anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and press my enter key. And it's now averaging those out. You can see we've got quite a few decimal places on this answer, but that's fine. All right, I can see what my result is. So that's our average, nice and simple. Now, the next one I want to look at is the count function. Now, this is fantastic if you need to know how many records you have. Now, the important thing to remember with the count function is that this one that we're going to use specifically only counts number-based values. So for instance, if I wanted to count up how many names I have in a list, can't use this function, right? But if I wanted to count up how many numbers I have in a column, or how many phone numbers, or how many postcodes, or how many dates, or how many amounts of currency I have, it can do that because they're all number-based. Remember, dates are number-based. They have a date format of numbers, so we can use the count function for that. So go ahead and put your cursor where you would like the answer to go in. I'm going to go again up to the auto sum button, but I'm not clicking the icon, I'm clicking the drop down. And this time I'm going to choose count numbers. Now you'll notice that it goes and tries to find that nearest set of numbers, and it has actually chosen our average result, which is just above where I'm currently putting the count into. Now that's not the correct area. So what I need to do here is I need to redirect it. I need to point it somewhere else. Now, I wanted to count just based off the total values, all right? So if, for instance, someone doesn't have a total being calculated, it won't count that record, all right? But I'm counting everybody, so I'm going to get it to count from these values. So all I'm going to do is use my mouse. I'm ignoring this little blue dotted line. Don't try and move it. I do find that that's very fiddly. Just use your mouse because the dotted line will follow your mouse, all right? So click and highlight the cells that you do want it to look at. And then once you're happy with that, go ahead and hit the enter key. And it should give you a count result of 3. There's 3 records, or in your case, however many records you've got in your spreadsheet. All right, wonderful. Now, the next one we want to do is the minimum or min function. Now, this is going to look across my data and tell me what my lowest value is. This is fantastic to avoid you having to manually scan information and try and work out what your high and low values are. And it also avoids you having to constantly sort your data. So if you're sorting from smallest to largest, you don't need to do that because Excel's going to just do that automatically for you. So put your cursor where you want the minimum result to be displayed. I'm going to go again to the drop-down menu for auto sum, and I'm going to choose min. Now again, Excel goes and just finds the number above. That's not what I want it to work from. I wanted to find what my lowest value is based off all the totals. So I have to highlight all the totals. So use the mouse and go and correct it. So again, the dotted line will follow your mouse. Don't try and move it by dragging it or anything like that. So I've now got min F4 to F6. Fantastic. I'm going to hit enter. That will get me my minimum value is 206. All right, what about the maximum though? So highest value. Now I already know it's 224, but I want Excel to go and check that for me. So again, pop your cursor where you want the value to go to the auto sum drop down, choose max from the list. And again, you're going to have to correct it. Show it where you want it to be looking for that answer. And I'm going to highlight the 3 cells at the very top. I've now got my function in there as equals max F4 to F6. And again, I'll hit enter. Yep, it gives me 224. Now, we've got all of our 5 functions set up now. We've got the sums, we've got an average, a count, a minimum, and a maximum. Now, some of my numbers are quite close together. I've got a 206 and a 207, and then I've got a 224. I'm going to make some adjustments to my data to see where I see some changes in my information here. So what you could technically do is you could delete an entire column of numbers out. So if I highlight January and I delete those numbers out completely, now my totals are all different. My average has now changed. Now my count's not going to change because I still have three records, but my minimum and my maximum have changed as well. Now if I undo that, all my values go back to what they were. But what about if I just change some of these? So what about if I make some drastic changes to some of the records to make these totals change, and let's see what knock-on effect it has. I'm going to go in and change one of my numbers to something really high. Like I'm going to go to like 350, a lot higher than what it was previously. When I change that January value for Jim, that automatically pushes Jim's total up to 544, which then completely changes what my average is across the 3 values. Doesn't change my count. Doesn't affect my minimum greatly other than it went to 207 because previously it was 206. All right, so it just jumped up by 1. But now my max result is now 544. All right, so again, it has that knock-on effect, and these are going to keep refreshing themselves if any of your data changes. So again, make another big change. I'm going to go and change something to do with my last record here. I'm going to maybe push this one up to 500. All right, again, my totals have all changed. My average has changed, count has remained the same. My minimum and my maximum have changed as well. All right, now my minimum is the 224, which is for Mary, which was previously my highest value. It's now my lowest. And my maximum value has jumped up to 669 as well. So you can see having these functions set up in your spreadsheets can give you some really good information about your data. And so I do recommend having these ones in your little toolkit so that you can use them whenever you need to. Now, if you've liked this video, please by all means hit that like button below. If you've got any questions, please pop the questions below the video. The step-by-step instructions for this exercise are on my website and you will find the link in the video description. And if you're interested in seeing more of my content as I add more onto my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, have a fantastic day and I hope this has helped you today.